is extreme hot weather. It is just a typical sunny afternoon. We are talking about unusually high temperature that persists for a prolonged period. As our world map shows, this is a global trend driven by climate change. But more importantly, it is no longer an anomaly for us. It is becoming increasingly common in Malaysia. Our daily lives, our maintenance, and our comfort are all being reshaped by this shifting climate.
The objective of the study is to examine the severity of extreme hot weather and its effect on human health, the environment, and daily activities. Its aim to identify the factors that contribute to rising temperature and analyze the risk caused by prolonged exposure to extreme heat, such as heat-related illnesses, dehydration, and reduced quality of life. This study also aimed to understand the impact of extreme hot weather on ecosystem, agriculture, and communities. In addition, it highlights the importance of awareness and adaptation strategy to minimize the negative effect of extreme heat and improve preparedness of future climate challenge. We will start with the background of the problem. Extreme hot weather is becoming more severe due to factors such as climate change, deforestation, air pollution, and increasing greenhouse gas emissions. These factors trap more heat in the atmosphere, causing global temperature to rise and challenging normal weather patterns. As a result, extreme heat events are happening more frequently and lasting for longer periods. The severity of extreme hot weather creates serious impact on human health, the environment, and the economy and the daily activities. Rising temperature can increase the risk of heart, flooding islands, damage ecosystem, reduce agriculture's productivity, and affect people's ability to work and live comfortably. Therefore, understanding the causes and effect of extreme heat is important to reduce its negative impact.
Next, let's look at our research methodology. For data collection, we use a digital questionnaire via Google Form and using WhatsApp. We managed to gather responses from 64 active respondents. The vast majority, 96.9%, are above 18 years old, while in terms of gender, with 51.6% female and 48.4% male.
Now the question is, are people aware of the hot climate crisis? Based on the finding, 96.9% shows that people are aware, and while the remaining simply believe so.
Alright everyone, let's move on to the next slide. Let's talk about the immediate impact of extreme heat on our everyday routines. It's not just an inconvenience, it's a major disruptor. Now, take a look at this. Recent survey findings show here on this slide. Does hot weather affect your daily activities? An overwhelming 93.8% of respondents said yes. This isn't surprising. Heat makes everything harder. Commuting, working in non-air-conditioned spaces, even just sleeping. So, does it affect your outdoor plans? Again, the number tells the story. 89.1% said yes. When the temperature spikes, it shows what we can do and we cannot do. What does this look like in practice? We see immediate cancellation or rescheduling of sports activities. It's become dangerous to exercise continuously. Outdoor events, theme festivals, markets, or concerts. Traveling, even simple leisure travel becomes grueling. In short, when we talk about climate issue, we are talking about tangible changes to how we live our lives today. This data prove it. So, the evidence is clear. The effects of heat are significant. This naturally leads us to the most important question. What can we do?
Hello everyone. When we think of heat waves, we often think of an uncomfortable string of summer days. But behind the rising thermometer lies a complex, multiplying crisis. Today, we're exploring how extreme heat severely impacts human biology, collapses ecosystems, and strains our infrastructure. Let's start with how heat attacks the human body. Our internal temperature is governed by balance, but under environmental heat, stress, high humidity, stagnant air, and intense radiation, our bodies trap internally generated metabolic heat. Combine that with clothing barriers and direct environmental heat gain, and the body's cooling system begins to fail. When that happens, the risk of a heat exhaustion and fatal heat stroke skyrocket. But it goes deeper. The extreme strain of trying to cool down puts an immense burden on the heart and kidneys. This rapidly worsens chronic conditions like cardiovascular disease and diabetes, and can directly cause acute kidney injuries. While the human
Another major concern is the one who is at the most risk. Children, elderly, outdoor workers, people with chronic diseases can be very severely affected by the hot weather that could lead to another more potentially a lot worse.
While the human impact is widely reported, the toll on our wildlife and vegetation is staggering. Research shows that heat waves decimate wildlife food quality, leading to starvation. For example, during severe heat and drought, South Australian koala populations plummeted by 63% due to dehydration. In the North Pacific, a marine heat wave led to the starvation and death of nearly 1 million seabirds. Moreover, I'll explain how plants react. Our flora responds in fascinating but desperate ways. Forages will shed their stomata, the macroscopic pores, to trap water and protect their internal vessels. Grasses, on the other hand, dump all available moisture into the air until they completely wither. Ultimately, the ecosystem suffer massive drops in photosynthesis and vegetation cover. Next is about marine ecosystem collapse. If you look beneath the ocean surface, the situation is just as critical. Marine heat waves are occurring so frequently that marine life has no time to recover. In Northern California, a single prolonged heat event wiped out 90% of the bull kelp canopy, causing an 80% mortality rate in abalones and devastating local fisheries. Furthermore, warmer water physically expands. This thermal expansion drives up water levels, triggering coastal flooding and the spread of waterborne pathogens. It also acts as fuel for toxic algal blooms, which poison marine life and disrupt global weather and precipitation patterns. Simultaneously, the very air we breathe degrades. During heat waves, gases, pollutants like ozone and nitrogen dioxide spike significantly, sometimes by over 50%. High temperatures also allow dangerous particulate matter to travel much longer distances, directly damaging human lung cells and triggering severe respiratory crisis. Finally, we must recognize that heat waves break our social infrastructure. They trigger power outages, lower workplace productivity, increase accidents, and force school closures. Combined with the smoke from heat-induced bushfires, our healthcare and economic systems face simultaneous tipping points. Because heat wave impacts heat rapidly, often the exact same day the temperature spikes, our responses must be just as fast. Moving forward, scientists, policymakers and communities must collaborate to build proactive climate resilient strategies. We can no longer treat heat waves as brief inconveniences. They are systemic challenges that require urgent action.
Now, we often think of heat as a personal discomfort, but can heat actually damage our infrastructure? According to survey data, nearly 60% of people, 59.4% to be exact, rightly believe it does. The evidence is all around us. Building damage. Thermal expansion causes concrete to crack and fatigue. Road surface expansion. As you see in the image, intense heat makes expand beyond its design limits, leading to buckles and cracks. Now, electricity demand. As we all turn out our assets, the strain on the national grid reaches critical peaks. Infrastructure is the backbone of our economy, and right now it is feeling the heat.
Moving on to our survey finding. Here are the key highlights. First, 96.9% are aware of the climate crisis. Also, 93.8% agree that the rising heat affect their daily life. Due to this, 88.4% empathize that carrying water is important. Lastly, 84.4% believe this extreme heat cause illness, and the same percentage agree it will cause long-term damage to our environment.
So, let's break down our 4 key recommendations illustrated right here. First, for systematic long-term impact, we must plant more trees, pointing to the first picture of hands in schools. Urban greening and reforestation are crucial natural cooling mechanisms. They provide shades and absorb carbon dioxide, directly addressing the root cause. Does our weather affect your daily activities? An overwhelming 93.8% of respondents said yes. This isn't surprising. Heat makes everything harder. Commuting, working in non-air-conditioned spaces, even just sleeping. Third, a major systematic energy shift. Use renewable energy, pointing to wind turbines and solar panels, accelerating our transition to clean energy. Sources like solar and wind is non-negotiable for a sustainable future. Transitioning from systematic change to personal good. Finally, while we push for these chances, we must also adapt personally for our health today. The fourth recommendation is critical for personal safety during extreme heat, which is stay hydrated, pointing to the woman drinking water. Protecting our physical health during heatwave is our most immediate line of defense. These actions, from the systematic overhaul to personal care, are the blueprint for navigating the future.
After we do the survey about extreme hot weather, we know that extreme weather is no longer the problem that only affects the future. It has become a serious issue happening in the present. The increasing severity of high temperature can create major challenges of human health, the environment, the economies, and people's daily activities. Prolonged heat and can increase health risks, damage ecosystem, reducing agriculture, producing, and affect work daily routine. Therefore, it is important for everyone to understand the seriousness of extreme hot weather and take responsibility in reducing its impact. Through awareness, sustainable practice, and cooperate on between individuals, communities, and government, we can help create a safer and more resilient future. Thank you.